It is an honor and a joy for me to announce that the Minded Institute and PTSD UK have recently entered a partnership. PTSD UK is the only and largest charity in the United Kingdom devoted to raising awareness of PTSD. That includes providing support and also influencing policy. As they're large in numbers and they're an information source, they feed that to the healthcare systems so that there is a better understanding of what works and what should be considered. Now, it's probably not surprising to you that the backbone of our relationship is going to be in regards to yoga's value for trauma. It probably doesn't surprise you either that this is close to my heart because I have suffered from complex PTSD and yoga absolutely changed my life. And I would like to see there be a massive campaign within this nation for people to understand that they may be able to reconnect to their bodies and regulate some of what's happening in their nervous systems more effectively through yoga. Now, as part of this campaign, we will clarify that yoga is beneficial, but that not all yoga is going to be appropriate, right? It needs to be sensitive to the concerns of the individual attending, and obviously not triggering. I also want to highlight that at the Minded Institute, we see yoga for trauma fall into 3 different categories. One is trauma-sensitive yoga. And this is for people that have done some training, understanding some of the needs of people with trauma, and attempting within that class to not do anything that would be triggering and to be very compassionate and open in terms of how the teaching is provided. Then there is the trauma-informed yoga, which has become massively popular, but is the brainchild of the Boston Trauma Center, which actually doesn't exist anymore, but has done glorious work for many years. And trauma-informed yoga requires training wherein the individual is specifically working with people with trauma, with PTSD, through yoga practices. It's sensitive, but it's also targeted to help reduce the symptomology and also the root causes behind PTSD. They need to go hand in hand. And finally, there is yoga therapy for PTSD, which is what we teach at the Minded Institute. Generally, that is in bespoke individual sessions with people with a significant amount of training that show up with that individual not only with the therapeutic piece, the yogic piece, but also the therapeutic piece. So there's grounding and holding and resourcing that is done so that that person is not only doing yoga practices that are helping to rebalance the nervous system, specifically the autonomic nervous system, one of the core physiological features of PTSD, helping them to reconnect their bodies as well, but allowing to dip their toe into certain things that might cause a little bit of triggering with safety in place so that they can start to uncouple that which is triggering from that which is actually no longer pernicious, allowing them to improve their quality of life and again go to the deep root. But again, that requires a lot of training and should not be done lightly. So I am extremely grateful for this, and finally I just want to announce that the APPG on Yoga and Society is also this upcoming year going to be working on looking at yoga for trauma and trying to influence policy, and we will be discussing that in conjunction with PTSD UK. Thank you, everybody, and we would love to hear what you think needs to happen in order for yoga for trauma to reach a wider audience and for this to also be done safely, effectively, and integrity. Namaste.